How to invest in rental properties. During the last property boom, greed was the dominant driver, but things have changed and now it's all about fear. Fear of a recession, fear of taking on more debt, fear of investing because the property markets might collapse. Most of Australia's wealthiest property tycoons have made their fortunes by investing counter-cyclically when everyone else saw doom and gloom and thought they were crazy to invest. Because when you step back from the immediate, history shows us that this approach always delivers the best results. It is, after all, the equivalent of buying at the bottom of a market cycle, isn't it? Lambs or sheep follow each other. They flock together. They follow trends. They are only comfortable with what is familiar. They seek safety and security in numbers. Why? Because they are easily impressed by the promise of quick gains, glossy brochures, and advertising hype. They invest emotionally, and this always has pitfalls. They don't follow trends. They are independent thinkers and make decisions based on cold hard facts, not herd like subjectivity. They are able to remain calm while others panic and are ready to look at numbers and rational arguments and make investment decisions based on these. Depending on what type of investor you are or decide to be, the next year or two will either be a time of amazing opportunity or a period of fear and missed chances. We've seen downturns and recessions before, and we've heard of various pundits telling us all how this time it's different and the world will never be the same again. What I've come to realize is that when enough people start to talk about paradigm shifts, such as certain events have now made basic economic patterns and cycles meaningless, you can be sure we're soon headed for an upturn or a crash that works both ways. These doomsayers who claim to have seen it all coming and to know what's coming next just create fear. And this fear feeds on itself, as the headlines sometimes seem to support their arguments. During the recent property boom, when the driver was of course greed and banks lent money freely and at times without requiring proof of serviceability, more and more people shouted about how traditional rules of property no longer applied and the traditional models were old thinking. Yes, greed also feeds on itself. If the end of the world as we know it, merchants are wrong, and they always are, then your decision to be a lion and be bold when all around you are fearful and to invest when everyone else thinks it's crazy will prove to be the kind of insight that truly great investors apply. You will need the ability to see beyond fads and fashions, analyze long-term potential, and have the insight to see the intrinsic value of assets and act accordingly. The economy is going to recover, interest rates will increase, and inflation will return. More people will start buying or upgrading their homes, and investors who have parked their money in the safety of bank deposits will start looking for a new safe haven for their funds. One that is a hedge against inflation. Many will turn to the security of residential property, and then the markets will begin to lift.